Kovi,
Yes.
Kovi, the Premier League kicks off, with a big bang on Saturday. It couldn't have gotten any better or any bigger than Chelsea hosting Liverpool. Both teams have their issues. I mean, especially from last season through to this season. We can't really tell the shape of both teams. They've tried to do some recruitment here and there, but I just want us to look at this big game that will happen on Sunday, 3 p.m. and let's take it from the perspective of Chelsea. I look at Chelsea, and during our preview, we were talking about the fact that Mauricio Pochettino is about their biggest signing. They do have problems in the team. From last season, you realize that if you divide the department into three, so the defense, the midfield, the attack, they have issues. They've lost Koulibaly. They've lost Aspilicueta. When I mention Koulibaly, you start laughing.
I'm excited by the mention of Koulibaly.
They've lost Fofana to injury. He'll be out to the rest of the season. So 3 of the men that marshal their defense are out. They've tried to, do some form of reinforcement in bringing in the assistant from AS Monaco. They do have Chaloba and all these guys in there, but I still think there are problems with the Chelsea defense because one, Thiago Silva is aging. He's not the Thiago Silva 2-3 seasons ago. You're going to pair him with a younger player. How that partnership is going to pan out is a problem. I spoke about their defensive issues in the sense that last season, conceding 47 goals and scoring just 38 with a goal difference of -9. For a team like Chelsea, that's so, unlike Chelsea. But it was one of the reasons why Chelsea obviously were 12th on the league table. Going into this game, this is my thinking. I think their defensive problems would still persist because they have not solved it.
Well, for anybody who's followed the career of Mauricio Pochettino, he's come to the limelight because of 2 reasons. That his team has a lot of discipline when it comes to the defensive end. So typical Mauricio Pochettino teams are so disciplined defensively, they are mean defensively, and then the transition from defense to attack has always been one of the biggest hallmark of Pochettino. So yes, you go about and list all of the issues that Chelsea had in their defense last season. The reason I smiled when you mentioned Koulibaly and Aspilicueta and all of those guys were that, I think that Chelsea did not have any standard last season. The truth is that there was no standard. I mean, so I do not think that Koulibaly leaving would imply them missing him, because even with him, they were pathetic defensively, all over the place. But you see, this game has to go in consonance with the facts available. The facts available are simple. In the last 6 games between Chelsea and Liverpool, they've all ended in draws. They've all ended in draws. And if you consider Liverpool and their last 10 matches in the opening fixtures in the APL, they've won 8, they've drawn 2. Yeah. So you look at all of this conversation, I think that, very much possible what will pan out on Sunday is that we get to see teams that could be at the formative stages of whichever projects they decide to embark on. I am not expecting to see a dominant display from either team defensively. Listen, people would want to argue that Liverpool look the most settled team.
They actually look the most settled team.
But see, there are issues with this Liverpool team. The issues are simple. People have spoken about the lack of cover in the midfield, especially in the defensive midfield role. It is rumored that Curtis Jones could be playing that role.
Or even Bajacek.
Yes, could be playing that role on Sunday, sorry. The Liverpool defensive midfield role, together with the lack of pace in the central defense of the Liverpool team. Yes, you cannot read a lot of meanings into preseason games, but one thing has been apparent. Whenever there are quick balls that attack the central defense of Liverpool, they are always found wanting. Whoever pairs with Van Dijk, be it Matip, be it Konate, be it that other young English lad, they've always had issues. And so I think that potentially we could see a very drab game that could be very tactical and that could be not so daring. Those are my initial comments regards this particular fixture, because I think that we might not see an overpowering team from both ends. I mean, we might not just get to see two teams that are dominant in the things that they aspire to do, but we might just see glimpses.
I hold a different opinion because let me give you the lineup of the team that last Liverpool's last friendly game they played against Darmstadt. So this was their lineup, and I'm thinking that this is the lineup they'll go into the game with. So Trent Alexander at right back, Konate and Van Dijk as the two centre backs, then Robertson as the left back. Then he went for Szoboszlai playing at the left side of midfield with McAllister as a 6 and Cody Gakpo as an alternate 8. Then he went for, Jota as a number 9 with Mo Salah, 11, then usually, ultimately Ruben Dias. So this is literally Liverpool's best 11.
At this
and if you
time.
watch against Bayern Munich, the same lineup. Against Darmstadt, the same lineup. Jurgen Klopp has cultivated the habit of trying to play this lineup in their two recent friendlies. And the reason I'm saying that this is the tendency we're going to see these set of players is high. The only probable difference might be Jota stepping out for Darwin Núñez to come in. But I look at Liverpool, and the reason why I am saying that I see a different game is Liverpool have not changed so much, though they've brought in Szoboszlai and McAllister. What Jurgen Klopp is trying to do is literally make McAllister play as a 6, which he is not. He is more of an advanced 8 or a 10. We saw him at Brighton. We saw him at with the Argentine national team. Enzo Fernandez would play more or less like a deep line playmaker with Rodrigo de Paul doing the mop-up job and the dirty work, whilst McAllister goes forward. But if any time, and I watched him during the friendly, when he's played at a 6, you do not see the best of McAllister. So I'm hoping that Jurgen Klopp will not make that mistake. It's the reason why they are hoping that they will sign Lavia. But Liverpool do not have a problem creating chances, creating opportunities. Why do I say that? And I think we spoke about this during the preview. Last season, big chances alone, they were joined first with City. 103 big chances created. Their major problem was the misses. They missed 78% of those big chances. And out of the 78%, 75% of those big chances were missed by Darwin Núñez. So even with the not so creative midfield that Liverpool had last season, they were creating solid chances that you should bury. But their problem was their conversion. Mo Salah, who was their highest goal scorer, scored 19 league goals. The second top scorer was Roberto Firmino, scored 11. Then Darwin Núñez scored 9. Firmino is gone. I am hoping that Ruben Dias's return would mean that he might just slot in there and replace those goals that Firmino would take away. But my fear is if that problem still persists, because they do not have a problem creating chances, because everybody knows how they play. The fullbacks will join the attack, and they literally are the guys that make the team tick. You know how they play, but how to stop them is the problem. And Chelsea have tried it over the long haul, and they've not lost. And like you said, Liverpool against Chelsea in their last 8 games, they've not lost against Chelsea. 2 wins, 6 draws. Like again you said, in their last 10 seasons, opening games, they are yet to lose. 8 wins, 2 draws. Chelsea, on the other hand, and they've amassed most points in the opening game of fixtures of the Premier League, 66 points. So both teams, in terms of opening games, cancel each other. But I see Liverpool with a bit of an edge. If Mo Salah continues his inability to start the season well, because one of the major problems with Liverpool last season was that Mo Salah did not start the season well. He hit the ground running somewhere around January, February. It was one of the reasons why he scored 19 goals late season. If that trajectory continues, then Liverpool will struggle, because you and I sitting here do not know what Darwin Núñez, your friend Darwin Núñez,
Percy tells us
give
second
us.
season Darwin Núñez is a different beast altogether.
I don't want us to.
We probably would want to align with Percy's opinion, but I think that you raised some very good points. That notwithstanding, I still think this is an experimental Liverpool midfield. I still think that this is a Liverpool midfield that is not settled. It's a work in progress,
Yeah,
you understand? True. Because if you want to play McAllister as the holding role, listen,
it's not worked so far.
Exactly.
Because
I mean,
you're literally
and you see, you
taking his
cannot rate,
creativity
you
out of
cannot
him.
rate their performance against that Minos in Germany to that of what Chelsea will bring to the fore. True. You understand? I mean, because at the blink of an eye, Chelsea have a World Cup winner at the center of their midfield. I mean, Enzo has struggled to find his feet he's not being the Enzo because he's not been allowed to play the role that he likes to play. You understand? Deep lying playmaker. Somebody who lies side by side with another proper DM.
The reason why I hope they will be able to pull McAllister, and I'm hearing that, you know, they're
Chelsea have put in a bid for Lavia. Yes, they put in a £48 million bid for Lavia. So I think that, yes, you could talk about all of the firepower that Liverpool possesses up front. I think that those are tried and tested in Jota, in Luis, and then Mo Salah. Those are tried and tested.
And Darwin Núñez, let's not forget.
Darwin Núñez, I don't think is tried and tested in the context of the EPL. So, but I still think that there will be problems with that midfield. I think there will be problems with that midfield, and it could go on and affect the outcome of the game.
Yeah.
I sincerely sitting here think that this game will be won by who is most consistent in the midfield. And that's, for me, is where the biggest issue lies. The one thing that goes for Chelsea is that element of surprisism. Sitting here, I do not know who will turn up in that Chelsea midfield.
No one knows their starting.
Exactly. And so in the past, I mean, the fullbacks of Liverpool have always shown that they have problems when they run up against very quick, pacey wingers. You understand? And hopefully, somebody like Modric finds his form. You're hoping that the other wingers at Chelsea are able to come into play. Jackson has shown in pre-season that he's a very quick lad. And so those are the elements that Klopp has to deal with, that element of surprises. Because the truth of the matter is that Chelsea do not have a settled 11.
They have
so many quality players at the availability of the manager. So if you're Klopp, who do you deploy against? That element of surprisism is what I think might just work for Chelsea.
Before we probably end with a prediction, I'm looking at the Chelsea attack, and I still think that they are blunt. Christopher Nkunku is out for 16 weeks. Kai Havertz is gone. The guy who led them in terms of goal scoring 7 goals. That it tells you how poor Chelsea were last season. Their top scorer for last season scored just 7 goals. There is still Sterling. He was second with 6 goals. But there was the hope that Christopher Nkunku and Nicholas Jackson would bring in the goals. But Christopher Nkunku is out. So you can only hope to, or bank your hopes on Nicholas Jackson, which we've waxed lyrical about his strength, his pace and all that. But he thrives better playing with, you know, an out-and-out striker. He's more or less like a second striker. Let's look at the lineup they played with Dortmund, because I'm thinking that's the lineup that will show up against Chelsea and probably against Liverpool. Then we'll wrap up here. So it was Aspilicueta in goal, Thiago Silva, Colwell, Chilwell at left back, Reece James at right back, with 2 holding midfielders in Enzo Fernandez and Conor Gallagher, with 3 men behind Nicholas Jackson in the shape of Chukwuemeka, Raheem Sterling, and Christopher Nkunku. But Christopher Nkunku here is out. I'm thinking that in his place, you would have somebody like Modric who will bring in a lot of pace. His pace would mean that when Trent is bumping forward, he will need to find a cover for him. That means Luis Diaz would have to work double shift. So it's going to be an interesting game, but I'm expecting Liverpool, as always, they are 4-3-3. Chelsea, Mauricio Pochettino, typical 4-2-3-1, expecting that these men will do a lot of work in the middle. That's Conor Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez to try and shut down the Liverpool attack, because, like we've all agreed, they do have enough quality. If Mo Salah gets going, if Jota gets going, if Luis Diaz gets going, they will punish this Chelsea defense. Where do you think this game is ending?
Well, I think I see a draw all over this game.
This season could be
this,
bold.
oh, I am telling you, I
Be
see
bold.
a draw. I am telling you.
Scoring draw or goalless draw?
I see a scoring draw. 1-1, 2-2. As a city here, I do not think any of the teams outweigh each other in terms of quality and in terms of progress. You understand? So I see a scoring draw. There's no way this game ends in a goalless draw.
Anyway,
I see a scoring draw.
You know, I would decide. I hold a different opinion. I think that Liverpool are a shade ahead of Chelsea. Chelsea new look squad assembled, coming up against more or less a formidable with some few pieces Liverpool side. I think that Liverpool's worst will be a draw. Like the numbers
so
and the stats.
So you are aligning to a draw?
No, I'm saying their worst will be a draw.
A safer zone.
Liverpool are winning this game.
That's fine.
Liverpool are winning this game.
That's fine.
They're not winning by less than a goal.
Match.
No, I think less than a goal. It would either be a 2-1, 2-0, 3-1. But Liverpool are winning this game. Their worst in this game will be a draw.
I think I'm more aligned to your worst. I think it will be a draw. I think it will be a draw.
Anyway, guys, what do you think? This is the big game here. Chelsea taking on Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Mauricio Pochettino's first outing with the Blues, whilst Jurgen Klopp takes his squad for the 8th consecutive season. Let's see what happens. But if you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe or hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to this channel to have access to our amazing sporting content. If you are old to this channel as well, your comment, your likes, share, watch this video. We are doing this with you this season, and we shot this video at the Shocks Hub located at the Takrady Mall in Takrady. Amazing place to be. See their bar stocked with drinks. So whenever you are in Takrady, just pass by Shocks Bar and grab yourself something to eat and something to drink. But Sunday is the big game. Who are you going for? This is Sports 101, where sports belongs.